Volunteers of America is a national ministry of service that began in 1896 with a commitment to go wherever we are needed and to do all we can to bring hope, healing, and support to people in need. In fact, today, Volunteers of America has a presence in over 400 communities in the United States. And Volunteers of America of Illinois is actually one of the oldest affiliates within the Volunteers of America ministry. We certainly have a long tradition of really reaching out to very at-risk families and children in need, and specifically working with adoptions and family reunifications and children in foster care.
Here on site we have a wonderful facility that was put together by Major League Baseball. And the facility gives our parents a chance to interact with their children in a safe, clean environment. It starts the process of reconnecting families. We have senior housing and disabled housing, and what we're trying to do is make it comfortable for those that are in the later part of life and those that have some physical disabilities.
We also have just recently started to work with incarcerated mothers to really help prepare them for successful reentry into the community. As we have sharpened our focus and our commitment to serving the most vulnerable populations in our community, we recognized and saw, to our great surprise and our great dismay, that another population that to a certain extent has been forgotten or left behind is our veterans.
I began my career in the military October of 1997, and it carried me all the way to October of 2007.
I joined the Army in 2003, September 9th, 2003, 2 years after September 11th.
It was 10 years, a whole decade of my life I spent in the military, in the regular Army.
I was a nurse, a 91 Charlie. I never had any problems until 2007. That's when my trouble started. Actually, it started on 2007 on Father's Day. And then everything tumbled all at once.
Living in the shelter was one of the toughest, grittiest points in my life, to the point where I felt like I was on the bottom of society.
Sometimes a situation that I was exposed to or seen will play back in my mind, and it's not always when I want it to. So it's good to have photographic memory because it helps you memorize things, but when it's traumatic situations, it makes it hard for sleeping at night or just sometimes functioning through the day. That's post-traumatic stress disorder.
The biggest factor that contributes to the high rate of homelessness amongst veterans is the prevalence of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and oftentimes substances are a way of self-medicating a mental illness. And once you have an addiction sitting on top of a mental illness, the other outcomes of unemployment and poverty and homelessness are never far behind. It is very hard once you're there to start to pull yourself back out. And that's why a program like ours is really important, because it is really about reaching our hand to wherever they are and helping pull them out and helping to lift them up so that they have the opportunity to start to enjoy the American dream that they sacrificed so much to protect and preserve.
Good to see you too. How you doing?
We have outreach workers that work the shelters, that work the streets, and once we get them here, we sit down and talk, because part of the problem is that many of these men and women feel they haven't been heard.
I could talk to them about my problems and things that upset me and goals that I look forward to reaching, and they definitely made me feel appreciated for being a veteran and for being overseas and doing the things that I had to do. I felt greatly appreciated being here.
Coming here, it really makes you feel good as a vet. They have a compassion, they have a heart, they care, they give you the attention, they try to help you in every way they can. They stretch out their arms and just give you a hug.
Really, the first step in our program is putting our arms around them, sometimes literally and figuratively, and helping pull them across the threshold and helping give them enough faith and enough hope to start to take all the really hard steps. We really try and help them put themselves back together, because there's going to come a time where they need to be able to stand up completely on their own.
I think we have the finest veterans job training program in the state. We have a veteran service officer that helps connect guys to their services. We have job placement guys that are on our staff that are constantly looking for employment and employment opportunities. We have corporate partners that come in, help us with mock interviews. There are a lot of things that we put out in front of our men and women.
If you want to work, they'll find jobs for you. Those computer skills, they come in handy as far as putting your resume together, your cover letter together, your references together, business letters together. They do all this here. Teach you all this here. And it's free.
When they come in our door, we don't just see the veteran. We see the veteran's wife. We see the veteran's children. We see what this man and woman did for this country. And we want to build them up to what they are and what they potentially want to be.
One of the things that we discovered very soon is that for a number of our veterans, even if we can get them employed relatively quickly, what we were really struggling with putting in place for them as quickly was housing. We started down the path of developing a permanent supportive housing program specifically for homeless veterans. The first floor will be an entire continuum of supportive services for veterans, whether it's primary health care, mental health issues, substance abuse services. We'll have a business and resource center, a training center, an employment training center, computer classes, computer workshops. Just about everything that they could possibly need to access will be available to them on site on the first floor of where they live.
Today you got pretty much beat up a little bit, okay? Tomorrow, I think you're gonna have a little more confidence.
If I had not come to Volunteers of America, I probably would be homeless still, living from house to house, also unemployed, and a very terrible situation that would be hard for me to make a comeback from. I'm going to invest in myself as far as my talents is concerned, and continue to work with Volunteers of America and just be all I can be outside of the military.
Everybody that I meet that's helpless or homeless, I tell them about this place. I go to a shelter about 3 or 4 times a week when I can bear it. And I talk to other vets about this place. And I would tell anybody out there, if you knew anything about Volunteers of America, share with the next person.
It's hard not getting support and coming back in the civilian and just feeling like you're all alone. You know, you come in here and you get the support of all the staff. They give you the attention that you need, that you desire. I just hope that the services, that the organizations like this are prepared to handle the newer veterans of today.
We really need to gear up as a service provider committed to veterans to make sure that we have the resources in place to meet not only the growing number, but the growing complexity of the challenges facing these returning veterans.
We should never turn away a veteran and put them on the streets of Chicago to sleep on the streets of Chicago.
What is your greatest strength?
I would say perseverance.
Why?
Because no matter what happens, I never quit. That was my motto for my Army unit. We'll never quit.
These men and women have dreams, and they have goals.
It's a vision, and it's seeable.
We challenge them, we push them.
You tell them, hey, I was good, I'm reliable, I'm enthusiastic.
To help the process of healing.